Hey guys, it's Jenny. Welcome back to Solid Gold. I'm really excited today. It's the first ever giveaway for my calendar giveaways. As you guys know, if you've been watching any of my videos recently, I made these 2017 Goldfish calendars with awesome pictures of a goldfish, of course, on every month. Also, on the back, there's this postcard that you cut out, you fill in your information, and you send it to me, and it enters you into a giveaway every single month of this year. And the prizes for the giveaway are my original drawings that I make and send to you. And the drawing that is sent to somebody, some lucky winner, every month is going to be the fish that's featured on the calendar page for that month. I've sold probably about 180 calendars so far. Hopefully all of you guys sent in your postcards because it's happening now. It's happening today. So in this video, I'm gonna show you guys the drawing that I made for January, and I'm also gonna select the winner. You're gonna get to see my entire process of making the drawing, and I'm probably gonna do a little bit of voiceover explaining how I do drawings because I've done a lot of drawing videos in the past and you guys are always like, how do you do it? The goldfish featured on the calendar page this month is a fish called Epona. I thought Epona was a female, but I actually now think that Epona is a male. So the name Epona comes from the Legend of Zelda because Link has a horse that's named Epona and he rides it around on his little adventures and stuff, and I always thought it was such a cute name, but I think the horse Epona is a female, so it's not really super fitting if that's the case. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. But I also have to show you this because this is also super exciting. My stickers came in. I haven't even opened them yet. I've had them for like 2 days just sitting in my office taunting me, open us, open us. But I wanted to open it on camera since I already told you guys about these stickers being in the works and all that. I thought it would be cool to open them on camera so we can all get excited together. Oh my gosh. They look so good. Here they are. Sorry about the glare. This one is the crest, and then I also got this one, which is like the circular logo with Clyde in the middle. Whoa. So they are die cut. If you can see, you can actually, come on. Ooh, they're really stuck on there, man. Okay, you can actually peel the backing away, and then the sticker itself is die cut to the shape of the logo. And this guy. So cute. They're going to be available for sale on my website at some point, probably within the next week here. It's probably going to be a 2-pack. You'll get one of each of these stickers. There's too much excitement going on in this video, you guys. There's like fancy schmancy shiny new stickers, a awesome drawing to watch, and then at the end of that there's a giveaway, and I just can't handle it. Can't handle it. So without further ado, let's jump to the process of how I made this drawing. In this drawing, I'm obviously working from a photo because I'm working from the photo of Epona that I took for the calendar. So when I'm working from a photo, the first thing I do before I even put any marks down on the paper is I look really closely at the photo, but not at details. I look at the overall shapes that are going on. So when you're looking at the fish, try not to see any of the details, but just see the outline and the shapes that are created by those outlines. For example, I find that fish from this angle tend to look really triangular. So, the dorsal fin is up at the top point of the triangle, and then the 2 pectoral fins are down at the bottom. So I kind of start sketching out that general shape. And then I also really look at how the negative spaces interact with the positive spaces. And what I mean by that is positive space in a drawing is the space that is taken up by the subject. So in this case, the positive space would be any of the fish's body. The negative space would be all of the little shapes around the fish's body and in between parts of the fish's body that are not actually the subject. So any little negative spaces in between fins or between a fin and a body part of another part of the fish are really important to look at because it will really help you get the proportions right if you draw those negative spaces in the correct shapes. At this stage of the drawing, what I'm doing is I'm just drawing super lightly. I'm trying to develop the image all at the same time instead of just focusing in on one little spot and really developing all the details and then spreading out from there. If you do that, you're going to end up with a lot of proportions that are messed up and wrong. So I'm just drawing really lightly and erasing a lot. As you can see, I'm erasing a lot, and that's because I maybe realized that I drew the eye a little bit too far over to the right than it needs to be. In this particular drawing, I actually had everything completely done at one point as far as the outline sketch. And when I held it up to look at it and compared it with the photograph of the fish, I noticed that the mouth was way off to the left side, way too far. And it was a bummer because I had drawn it in a way that I thought was like just right. And I really liked how it looked, but it was not in the right spot. So I made the decision to erase it and move it over a little bit. And I'm really glad I did, even though at the time it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to erase this and draw it again. It's such a pain. But I'm glad I did because it wouldn't have looked right. The mouth would have looked really twisted. It's really important to remember when you're drawing that you need to very frequently lift up the drawing so that you're looking straight on at it instead of looking down at it on the surface of your table that you're working on. When you're looking at it at that angle and you never lift it up to look at it properly, you can actually start to draw things in a skewed manner because you're looking at it from an angle that's not correct. So you'll notice that I very frequently lift up the drawing so that I can look at it straight on. When I start laying down the color of the fish, I usually try to pick the lightest color that I can see in anywhere in the fish, and that's usually like a pale peach or a pale yellow or a pale brown, something like that. Even sometimes a pale blue. White fish will have like a blue sheen to their scales that if you include that blue sheen in the drawing, it makes them look a little bit more realistic. So I do all of the light colors and then I progressively choose darker and darker colors. Epona has some spots of really intense dark orangey red on his body, and I actually first kind of fleshed those spots out really lightly with my pencil and with a lighter orange color than I wanted the color to end up looking, because you can always go in and make a color darker and kind of build other colors on top of it so it gives it more of a complex look, but you can't always take away color once you've put it on there. And then after I put down the really pale orangey colors where his spots are, just to kind of flesh out where they belong, I then go back in and darken them up, and I even add some other different colors to make them look a little bit more realistic and dynamic. In the middle of the big red spot in his forehead, it was a little bit lighter, and then towards one edge it was definitely darker. So I made that edge darker, and then I lightened up the inside like a more orangey red color. I usually like to experiment around with using different dark colors for the shadowing in the fish. Sometimes it works really well if your fish is predominantly orange, for example, to use colors that are opposite that color on the color wheel, which would be like blue. Instead of using like black for the shading on an orange fish, you might want to try using a really dark blue, because that'll just make it pop a lot more and look more dynamic and three-dimensional. This fish is predominantly white with some red spots, so I mostly used like medium grays and medium brownish grays for the shadowing, and then I did add a little bit of just a hint of blue shine to the white parts of the scales so that it would hopefully look a little bit more realistic. My personal style for my drawings is I like to kind of outline everything in a really, really fine marker. And something to keep in mind with line drawing like this is a thicker line is going to look closer than a thinner line. A thinner line is going to make it look farther away from you, especially when it's placed next to a thicker line. That thicker line is really going to jump forward at you and look like it's close to you, and the thinner line is going to look really far away. So any areas where, for example, the eyeballs I figured were the part of the fish that stick out towards the viewer the most. So I tried to use the thickest line in outlining the eyeballs. I think it creates a really cool effect when you have a really thick lined eye, as you do in this drawing, next to, you can see where the fin comes out kind of behind the eye. And that line of the fin is really light because that's actually quite a bit farther away from the viewer than the eye is. So it really gives it like a three-dimensional effect, makes it look like it's popping out at you. Sometimes in my drawings I decide to draw the scales in a little bit more heavy-handed. In this one I wanted to go with a more minimal look, so I just kind of did the suggestion of some of the scales and I didn't quite fill in all of them. And we're done. We have a winner, and the winner is Sharon Emerson. Yay, Sharon Emerson, you win. You're gonna love it. I hope you're gonna love it. I really do. I will definitely be having prints made of all of the monthly calendar giveaway drawings that I make for the year, and the prints of those drawings will be available on my website too. So even if you liked the drawing that happened for this month and you did not win, you'll still be able to have the opportunity to purchase this and still own it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sharon, your prize is coming at you, girl. Make sure you check out the links in the description section below if you want to get in on these giveaways by purchasing your own calendar, or if you just want to purchase some of my goldfish art that I have made in the past, or if you want to check out my other goldfish art videos. All those links will be down in the description section below. Until next time, guys, stay gold. Of helping you out, of helping you out. Oh, life has a funny, funny way of helping you out. Press, why is that red? Don't be red. That means bad. Oh my gosh, we're live. Well, we're not live, we're just recording. So, poop.